We all have our dreams that might eventually take us somewhere. However, to make those dreams a reality, we have to put in a fair amount of effort and work to make those dreams come true. Whilst there is a lot of advice on quitting your day job and following your passion and starting your business, I wouldn't rush it if I were in your shoes. Before we proceed, you can help me a lot by clicking the like button so that more people could see this video, clicking the subscribe button if you haven't already, and saying hi in the comments. Now, don't take me wrong, I have actually been the one who started her business after quitting her day job, so I didn't start it like simultaneously with my day job, but I've been preparing both mentally and by doing my research to start my business when I was still doing my responsibilities and fulfilling my job at my day 9-to-5 job. However, again, what I made during my day job was to create a website for my future business, like visualization of my dream, and thinking out my service offering and thinking out all the sales channels that I will be using and doing the legal research and so on. So I have been preparing for the business to start my business before I quit my job and before I started my business. Also, I have personally known people who left their day jobs to work on their product, software product, and who worked day and night long on that product, and then they released the MVP version of that product and brought it to the market, and then they were lucky to succeed and their product boosted and they started growing. However, those were purposeful people who knew what they wanted to do and who had a vision, who had a plan, and more importantly, they had a backup plan. I also haven't left my day job without any money, without any savings, and without some backup plan, and without thinking how I'm going to feed my children. I had a plan and I followed it. I have seen other people who left their day jobs just because they simply hated it and they wanted to quit. And what they did, they quitted their jobs without having any plan. And guess what happens? These stories rarely end well, because while you're trying to figure out what business you want to start and while you're trying to figure out what you want to do, your energy, your time, your passion and your strengths is drifting away, and in the end of the day you're left without energy, without strength, and more importantly without money. And if you're a family person, this is not something you can afford to happen. Now, what I'm advising to do instead of leaving your 9-to-5 is building your 5-to-9, and I presume you already understand what that means. That means building your 5-to-9 schedule means that you should find the time to work on your business idea every day, finding that time either before your work, after your work, and during weekends. Now let me explain here. For example, after work, think about what you are used to doing. Are you used to watching Netflix? Then you can skip that part and dedicate those extra 2 or 3 or 4 hours to working on your business vision and your business idea. Now, before work, again, if you're a morning type of person, you can get up instead of getting up at 7 a.m., for example, you can get up at 5 a.m. and again dedicate those extra hours to working on your business idea. Now, another example of working before your day job is if you have a huge commute time. For example, in my case, I had like 2.5 hours to get to work and from work, and of course I've been very, very tired, but I decided not to lose that time. And during that period of my life when my trip to the office took that much, I dedicated that time to writing. I found it the most convenient in that condition. And so you can work on your business idea in your train, in the bus while going to work. Of course, it's preferable that you have a convenient seat to sit on and to work on your idea. I have written one of my novels in full on my iPhone 6. This very iPhone is very old. I have iPhone 10 now, but I still keep my iPhone 6 because we went through a lot together, and I have written a novel on this iPhone. See how small it is and how small my screen is? So I used Google Docs and I wrote a novel. Once I lost the entire chapter because there were some disconnection problems, but I wrote the entire novel on this iPhone, and mind you, I didn't go to the work on a train, which would have been much easier. I've been traveling to my work. I say traveling because it took me 2.5 hours in a stinky, densely stuck and overcrowded bus, where I sometimes was, I had as much space as like that, and I just I took the chance to do that. I even managed to write my novels when I was standing, but in a comfortable position where I could lean upon something, and thus I have written my novel. So you can do the same. Again, whatever works for you, and conditions differ, but let me assure you, I have survived in that stinky bus, and I have written a novel there, and I have done my research there, and I have done some online courses while traveling. So again, try to understand what quality time you might have, whether that would be before you work if you get up earlier, or during your commute time. Figure out whichever works for you and do that on a regular basis. Now, about weekends, I understand that you absolutely have your own bunch of domestic responsibilities and your own chores to cope with, so that it's kind of hard to crave out that extra time on weekends to dedicate to working on your side hustle. But then again, I'm absolutely sure that it could be done, and I'm a working mom of two, and think about what arrangements you can make, either with your spouse or your roommates, or if you're living alone, maybe while your children are sleeping. And if you're living alone, again, then there is less responsibilities for yourself, so you can dedicate more time to working on your side hustle and so on. I understand that every situation is different, but no excuses, Top Gun. If you want to make it happen, you should work on it. An important note here is that you should enjoy the process. If you're thinking about working on your side hustle as a kind of a burden, as a kind of a responsibility that you hate, drop it until it drops you dead. Because your side hustle, you should be enjoying it. You should be enjoying the side business you're building. Otherwise, what's the point? If you're hating your side business, you can as well hate your day job and take some extra overtime to work and to get some extra money. So you should be enjoying the process, and you should be actually enjoying what you're doing. I loved writing novels, and I still do. I love writing novels. I loved working on my side hustle. I loved doing the research. I loved working on the content for my website. I loved everything related to my side hustle, and hence I didn't think about this as a responsibility, more as of a way to escape from my current situation, and more as a way of understanding what I actually want to do. Of course, there is no one-size-fits-all solution, because every situation is different and every person is different, and maybe you have a lot of responsibilities that prevent you from dedicating a lot of your extra time to working on your side hustle. Maybe your 5 to 9 schedule is like working 1 hour on Sunday after the church, when all the house is quiet and everyone is napping, and so but then again, that 1 extra hour on Sunday can be a source, can be a seed of a much bigger life-altering idea. So I do urge you to try and find that extra time of working on your side hustle. Like I always say, we are all different, and I'm no guru to give you an advice on where you should find your extra time, because I don't know you and I don't know your situation, because again, every situation is different. Maybe you're caring for a sick relative, maybe you have a disabled child or children, maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe you're going through other hard times in your life. I'm no guru to judge, but I'm sure that you can find that at least 1 extra hour per week to work on your side hustle and to work on whatever improvement you want to make. Maybe that is 1 hour after the church on Sunday, or maybe that is 1 hour in the bathroom. Go to the bathroom to take a shower, shut down the door and work on your side hustle. Do try to find that extra 5 to 9 schedule, and again, even if that 5 to 9 schedule is just 1 hour per week, it's still worth pursuing. My video is only about giving you an idea where you could cut that extra hour from, so that you could adjust it to your schedule, understand where you could start, start and grow from there. Now imagine that you grew during that 5 to 9 schedule and that you feel like you're ready to quit your day job and dedicate yourself full time to your side hustle. The major thing you should be thinking about, and the major thing that you should have been thinking about from the very start, is whether your side business generates your income enough to substitute your day job salary. You should ask yourself whether people are willing to pay you for your product or service, and whether they are ready to pay you enough to make this business your primary occupation. I would recommend taking the backwards route. For example, let's say your day job salary is 10K. Let me just name this amount because everyone is hitting for the minimum wage of 10K, right? So let's suppose you need a 10K per month. To that end, you need to generate 100 sales. If say this is an online course and it costs $100. In order to generate that 100 sales, you need about 1,000 leads, hot leads, to start with, to start your promoting, to start your sales process with, to start your sales funnel with. So how do you get those leads? So by thinking this way, like backwards, so I need this amount of money, how much sales I should generate, how many hot leads do I need to that end, how many cold leads do I need to that end. So this is your sales funnel. By thinking this way, you will prepare yourself again mentally for a business type of thinking, because even if your side hustle brings you joy and brings you satisfaction, if it doesn't generate you enough money, you cannot make it your primary occupation and you cannot quit your day job. By the way, if you still haven't grabbed my business plan template, the link is in the description, which covers all the major things you should think in ahead. For example, operational plan, business plan or business model or business vision, marketing plan, financial plan, sales plan, which is extremely important, your sales strategy, management and operations, etc. Even if the latter, like management and operations, might seem small in comparison with where do I get new customers, still think that in ahead, so that when these issues and these questions arise, at the last convenient moment you are prepared. Now, why am I all for the safe way of starting your home-based business? Because I'm strongly convinced that the majority of my audience is not a luxury style people who have unlimited resources and who can afford to try over and over again after numerous failures. I don't want that numerous failures happen to you, and I certainly don't want you to be broke by dropping everything and rushing after your dream. Based on my analytics, the majority of my audience is male people aged between 25 and 35, and whilst there is still room for mistakes and for failures, those should better not be fatal. And if you have already started your family, you can afford to lose even less. Of course, same relates to the female part of my audience, because female part of my audience faces the same problems and the same issues as the male audience. It's just I'm saying that this age between 25 and 35, whilst you're still young, you'd better not lose time for numerous mistakes. Build your 5 to 9, grow from there, and if you're not sure how to do that and how to manage your multiple responsibilities, for example, if you have a day job, you have your home responsibilities, if you are studying at the same time, and if you want to bring a side hustle to the list, if you don't know how to do that, make sure to check out one of my latest videos on how I manage 4 projects simultaneously. Maybe this method would work for you. Check it out, the link is in the description. Now, if your business or future business is IT related, you might want to join the waitlist for IT people community. The link is in the description below, and when we are live, I'll notify you. We will discuss there everything related to IT industry and all the legal issues and all the sales issues, where do you get the customers and the marketing strategies, everything related to that. So make sure to join the waitlist below. Remember that persistence is the key, even when things don't seem favorable. It just might mean that you might want to change your business model or your approach or your business vision, but still you should stay persistent. It's important, be it a business or side business, your job or your studies. For example, if you want to change your profession, for example, if you want to become an IT specialist, check out that video, the link is in the description, and earn more. So whatever your goal is, being persistent is extremely important. Whatever your 5 to 9 schedule is, you should stick to it and make that happen. And let me stress here, if someone is willing to pay you for just showing up at the office and doing whatever job you should do, by all means, take the money. The decision is yours, but this is a safe way to start. Now, let me know whether you are working on your side business during your 5 to 9 schedule and how does it work for you. Let me know in the comments below. Hope you liked this episode. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know in the comments why. And if you're new here, I would love to have you as one of my subscribers, and I promise to deliver valuable content weekly. Now, have a great mood, have a great week, and see you next Wednesday. Bye!